episode of The Young Turks is brought to you by Netflix.
I've been telling you guys about the Patriot Act, right? And how it got extended, and I think it's a disaster. It is clear violations of the Fourth Amendment, but it passed easily with a great number of Democrats joining Republicans. It passed 72 to 23 in the Senate and then 250 to 153 in the House. So everybody's on board except for a couple of senators. And they are sounding a very interesting warning over it. Ron Wyden and Mark Udall. Wyden's from Oregon, Udall's from Colorado. Wyden says this: today, the American people do not know how their government interprets the language of the Patriot Act. Someday, they are going to find out, and a lot of them are going to be stunned. Some of them will undoubtedly ask their senators, did you know what this law actually did? Why didn't you know? Wasn't it your job to know before you voted on it? Now, Wyden says this because he is on a committee that hears what the administration's interpretation of the Patriot Act is. And their interpretation is that it is secret. Okay, now you need to understand what we're saying there. They're saying, okay, we already know and we've already told you that we think we can spy on people without getting a court order. We think it could be on American citizens, et cetera, et cetera. But we have another interpretation of this that allows us to get more information about average Americans, but we're not going to tell you what that interpretation is. And now Wyden says, well, that's crazy. Now, it's okay to protect secrets. Of course, that's what the government has to do. But we can't protect the American people from knowing what a law actually is. We're supposed to live in a democracy. And he's saying, if you knew, I just read it to you, you'd be stunned. Now, here's what Udall says. He says, this allows the government to place wide-ranging wiretaps on Americans without even identifying the target or location of such surveillance, target individuals who have no connection to terrorist organizations, and collect business records on law-abiding Americans without any connection to terrorism. Mark Udall says that's what I can tell you it does. I cannot tell you what it does on top of that, which is much more egregious. No, but he just told you it can collect data on any American without a warrant with no connection to terrorism. That means they can collect all of your information. They can listen to your phone calls, they can read your emails. Whatever you do that you think is private is not private. The American government is collecting that information without a warrant. And that's what we know. And Udall and Wyden are saying, oh my God, why did we pass this thing? Wait till you find out the things you don't know. And I literally cannot imagine what that is. What else are they doing? And this is supposed to be a government that was going to look out for our civil liberties? You remember how Barack Obama came in and said, oh, what the Bush administration is doing, la, 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 unacceptable. He was a constitutional law professor. What happened to that? Now, meanwhile, the Republicans, oh, yes, the Constitution, that's what we care about, and we want to protect the Constitution, et cetera, et cetera. Where are you, man? And look, you know what? Use the excuse that it's a Democratic president. Why don't you actually stand up here? Because the reality is you don't give a damn about the Constitution. You don't care about our privacy. You don't care about our liberties. You don't care about our freedoms. You're scared. You're scared of terrorists, and you like an authoritarian state anyway. You think the government has more power to decide how to run people's lives? Apparently the Republicans love that idea. And unfortunately, so do most of the Democrats. Get a load of Netflix. They deliver the movie to your house, no late charges, free shipping.
You can watch thousands of movies or TV shows straight on your PC or on your television through a gaming console.
Netflix.com/TYT. Free trial membership. You get Netflix all over you.